Well, I think there are a series of steps, and one that hasn't really been mentioned very strongly so far is the international community. We're in the infancy of the law of cyber war, if you will, and we need to be more active participants in setting the standards and the guardrails and the norms for activity in cyberspace, so that when we do act, whether it's the imposition of sanctions or other responses, we're not acting alone or unilaterally. Winston Churchill said the only thing worse than fighting with your allies is fighting without allies. And that's one of our major advantages on the world stage with regard to our principal near-peer adversaries of Russia and China. I was in Asia about a year ago, and someone said, America has allies, China has clients. And I think that's step one, is to develop an international set of norms that will themselves be at least some level of deterrent. Secondly, we have to have a clear declaratory policy. I emphasize the word declaratory because if you don't tell your adversary that you'll respond, then it's not a deterrent. And so I think we need to have a much clearer statement of our doctrine, of our strategy, so that adversaries know that they will, in fact, pay a price. The problem has been, you can argue that we have done a good job of deterring catastrophic cyber attacks. Of course, there's no way to measure something that doesn't happen, but we haven't deterred below the threshold of the use of force cyber attacks, whether it's the OPM breach that you mentioned, or the attacks on our election or election infrastructure, or the kind of intellectual property theft. We haven't done a very good job of deterring that. So I think the important thing is to establish the means, the credibility, the credible response, and secondly, to declare it, to make it clear that you will not attack the United States and not have a significant cost imposed upon you. So I think international norms and a clear declaratory strategy. It's not exactly, as you note, I think, as you understand, it's not exactly analogous to the nuclear deterrent. It's a different and more subtle kind of issue. But I do believe that unless we make it clear to our adversaries that they have to calculate that there will be costs imposed, and it doesn't have to be cyber for cyber. It may be sanctions or other kinds of responses. Until they make that calculation, they're going to keep coming after us. So that would be my response to that very